In recent years, grainy, blurry videos have emerged online that Bigfoot believers claim shows irrefutable evidence of a Sasquatch sighting in the mountains near Provo, Utah. Now, as with most alleged Bigfoot footage, the shaky vertical video spurs frenzied speculation, but seems to fail anything conclusive about the clarity of what exactly is captured on film. Now, back on January 25th, 2019, posted anonymously to a cryptozoology forum, this film shows a large, dark humanoid figure ambling through the snow on a steep hillside behind a residential neighborhood. Now, the mystery location is later identified as the foothills of the Wasatch Range near Provo. Now, due to the distance and poor video quality, details of this lumbering creature are largely obscured. Now, only a black silhouette is visible tramping through the snow before disappearing out of frame after just a few seconds. Now, after closely analyzing the footage frame by frame, adjusting filters and saturation to try and bring this blurry blob into focus, well, it is what it is. But the ambiguous pixelated form reveals no identifiable features or conclusive evidence of anything unnatural. Now, skeptics simply dismiss it immediately as a hoax or misidentification, but believers see it as some of the most compelling Bigfoot evidence ever captured to date, spreading the video widely across social media to kickstart fever discussion. Now, the poor quality video may be inconclusive, but that does not stop believers from growing increasingly convinced that it shows legitimate evidence of a Sasquatch in the mountains. The potential sighting quickly became a hot topic across forums, websites, and other social channels, and eager to capitalize on the momentum and solve the mystery, several amateur investigator groups announced plans to explore the area as shown in the video, and they pinpoint the location as the snowy foothills northeast of Provo, part of the Wasatch Range. Now, when the weekend arrived, multiple teams converged on the site, all determined to find proof of the legendary creature's existence once and for all. The steep uphill hike proved far more grueling than many had anticipated. As they labored up the mountain ridge behind the residential neighborhood, they contended with biting winds, icy conditions, and sinking deep into powdered snow. Desperate to document their expedition in video and photos, they pushed on through the treacherous winter track through snow-covered ravines, taxing their stamina, chattering about the thrilling potential discovery that carried and propelled them forward. This could have been the very moment that would have gone down in history if they would have actually captured evidence of Bigfoot. And after combing the remote snowy area, they did discover a trail of massive prints winding between the pine trees that seemed to match the figure from the video. Now, could these be definitive Sasquatch tracks? Their excitement only built upon this finding. But upon closer inspection, they determined the prints likely belonged to previous curious hikers who were also seeking out Bigfoot. Now, after 2 days battling the elements on stakeout, the weekend investigators were forced to admit defeat and return empty-handed. Now, as the short, ambiguous Bigfoot clip continues circulating online, the mystery videographer finally emerged to share his side of the story. This man identified himself as Brett Stubbs, a longtime resident of the suburban Provo neighborhood depicted in the video.
This morning, Brett filmed from his home, where we are, up on the mountain, and what appeared to be a very tall man, or a Sasquatch.
And he claims full legitimacy. For the bizarre footage, he believed it does indeed show a real-life Sasquatch tramping through the snowy foothills behind his home. However, he admitted the shaky vertical cell phone video fails to capture the majesty and significance of the sighting that they experienced. And Stubbs revealed that he filmed the entire encounter unintentionally while in his driveway on a frigid January morning. Now, he provides sparse details initially, saying that he only spotted the figure unexpectedly while focused on an unrelated task. Caught off guard, he fumbled to grab his phone and hit the record button. Given the spontaneous filming, the quality proved to be disappointing at best. But Stubbs insists that he has no incentive to hoax or trick the cryptozoology community with whom he claims to sympathize. And he stands by the footage as genuine and hopes improved analysis and new investigation may yet validate the video by matching the figure to definitive Bigfoot evidence. Now, Stubbs claimed that he remained open-minded but skeptical of his own sighting, and he would ask other experts and enthusiasts to approach the video without any preconceived notions or judgment, but instead had an open mind. Now, he claimed that in his view, proof of Bigfoot does exist somewhere in the wilderness, and the clip that he filmed may or may not show this elusive beast. But ladies and gentlemen, the search must go on. Now, the original videographer initially provided a few details about the context surrounding this brief, blurry Bigfoot clip. However, in subsequent interviews, Brett further pulls back the curtain on the impromptu origins of the footage and revealed that the morning in question starting out frustrating and mundane. His car wouldn't start in his driveway that frigid January morning. The extreme cold had snapped his battery after a night below zero temperatures. Stubbs says he was stuck in a rush to get the car jumped so he can go pick up groceries before his parents arrived in town. And after several failed attempts to revive the dead engine, he calls his friend over to assist with jumper cables. And as the two are tinkering with the battery, just trying to get it going, they're distracted, they're annoyed. He suddenly happened to glance up the snowy mountainside behind his house, and lo and behold, that's when he spots what appears to be a massive, shadowy figure lumbering clumsily through the trees near the ridgeline. Now, of course, completely stunned by this sighting, you know the story, he tries to fumble his phone and hits record, and it's doing this, and at the time, he just assumed that maybe it was a neighbor out on a hike, though the size he could see was huge and dark and the appearance seemed odd. Now, only later that evening, when Stubbs watched the footage again, did the magnitude of what he had captured truly sunk in. He was astounded to see a massive humanoid form, unlike any hiker he'd seen. Now, having filmed casually with freezing hands while focusing on jump-starting his car, the video proved there might be more than meets the eye. In fact, many are convinced that there are Sasquatches roaming the mountains of Utah. Unfortunately, without more definitive proof, the debate is going to continue to rage on, and unfortunately, this footage really comes down to one thing: that it remains a mystery. In the lush green countryside of rural North Wales holds many mysteries within its rolling hills and rocky crags. One legend that has persisted in the region for decades is that of the beast of Ponty bodkin. And if anyone from Wales is watching this, I apologize if I totally botched that pronunciation. A mysterious creature rumored to roam the area that has evaded capture or any formal identification. Yes, folks, the local tales describe it as a massive jet black cat, larger than any domestic house cat with piercing yellow eyes. Now, some claim it as just an escaped exotic pet, like a jaguar or something, because there are black jaguars, or even a panther, but others believe it may represent a native but unknown species that has lived undiscovered in Wales for centuries. Now, numerous eyewitnesses over the years have caught fleeting glimpses of this beast, but clear evidence of its existence really remains elusive. Well, that is, until a fateful morning walk captured the creature on camera in unprecedented detail. You see, on the morning of March 1st, 2021, Stephen Raitt decided to take his Jack Russell Terrier out for some exercise across the fields near his home in Flintshire. The weather was crisp and clear, beautiful day, ideal conditions for spotting wildlife activity from a distance. He was joined by his beautiful daughter Emily, who was back from university for a visit, and as Stephen and Emily wandered along a worn footpath, they chatted about recent news from the area and just catching up on life. Now, Emily brought up rumors of a large black cat that was supposedly spotted not far from where they were walking. She even said, "Dad, have you ever seen the beast of Ponty bodkin that people keep talking about?" And she would ask him all these questions about it because he lived there and he had not seen it yet. But of course, he would chuckle and admit that he had lived in Flintshire his whole life and never encountered anything unusual, that it was probably just some sort of urban legend. But just then, movement in the distance caught his eye, and at the far end of an open field, a large four-legged animal was stalking along the tree line. And so, acting quickly, Stephen fumbles, grabs his phone, and tries to capture some video footage, amazed by the massive size of the creature, even from several hundred yards away. And he and Emily observed the animal quietly as it prowled, displaying no fear or aggression at all, and they estimated it to be at least triple the size of their Jack Russell with a sleek black coat. Stephen would even remark that if that was someone's house cat, it was the biggest darn one he'd ever seen. Now, the footage captured by Stephen provides some of the clearest video evidence of this mysterious feline lurking in North Wales, but it is not the first modern sighting. Now, for decades, eyewitnesses have reported catching glimpses of large black cats all across the region, from the countryside to remote villages, etc. Now, in January of 2021, just weeks prior to Stephen's encounter, another local man named Jonathan Terry had spotted an enormous animal near his home in Trellogan. From the window of his kitchen, Jonathan was astonished to see a creature the size of a sheep stalking across his backyard. The cat was black in color and appeared far too massive to just be a simple domestic house pet. Now, around the same time, another married couple were out walking when they heard rustling and snapped some photos of an animal kind of hidden away in the woods, and they described it as about being the size of a sheepdog, which is massive, by the way, for a cat, based alone on their vantage point. Now, this occurred just a few fields over from where Jonathan saw the large black feline. And sightings like these have become more and more common, suggesting a population of unknown cats may be thriving and breeding in North Wales, completely undetected. But without definitive proof, experts are remaining skeptical, and rightfully so. Now, the sightings have sparked much speculation about what exactly people are witnessing in the Welsh countryside. Some theorists propose the cats are escaped exotic pets that have somehow formed breeding populations, kind of similar to the pythons in the Florida Everglades. You know, a bunch of people buy them as pets, let them out in the Everglades, and they completely destroy the natural ecosystem. But I digress. There are others that argue that felines are too large and wild to be former house cats. You don't say. A more intriguing explanation is that a native cat species has somehow lived undiscovered in Wales until recently. Now, skeptics counter that it is unlikely that a large predatory mammal could go undetected for so long, especially in a very populated place like the UK. Now, the climate also does not match natural habitats for big cats like pumas or panthers. In fact, a biologist by the name of Dr. Mark Hastings told about how he doesn't rule out the possibility of lynx or other medium-sized cats in particular remote areas, and believes that these sightings are simply misidentifications of other domestic animals. He explained that it would be extraordinary if there really was a population of giant black cats living right under the noses of the Welsh people without more tangible evidence. But Stephen Wright, the guy who took the video, firmly believes that what he captured on video is simply no ordinary house cat. I mean, even if you take into consideration the location and all the other sightings that have been going on for years, I mean, there's definitely something going on. When examining the field where he did spot this massive feline, he also came across several large paw prints in areas of soft mud and snow. But the prints did not appear to match any wildlife in the region. They were simply too big to belong to dogs, badgers, or foxes. And no human footprints were found alongside them, which ruled out the possibility they were from someone's pet. Now, most ominously, the paw prints traced a trail that appeared to follow the exact path that Stephen witnessed the cat traveling. Now, these discoveries led Stephen to one chilling conclusion: that he went from being a skeptical, rational human being to realizing what he saw was no house cat, no matter how oversized. This was possibly a creature unknown to these parts and unstudied by science, a dark predator lurking in the very midst of Wales. Now, while the beast of Ponty bodkin does remain a mystery, it's interesting that since this story has gained traction in larger news outlets, more and more and more eyewitnesses have come forward week by week, sharing details very similar to what Stephen saw. And if there's anything we could take away from this particular story, is that there truly is something strange out there in the wilds of North Wales. Now, we all know the legend of the chupacabra has captured the imagination of people all across Latin America for decades. This creature is said to roam remote areas and attack livestock, draining their very bodies of blood in the dead of night, but reports of the chupacabra first really emerged in Puerto Rico in the 1990s when farmers began discovering dead animals drained of blood with strange puncture wounds. Now, since then, alleged sightings and attacks have continued to pop up throughout Central and South America, all the way from Mexico to Chile. Now, this blood-sucking creature has been described in various ways. Some describe it having powerful hind legs like a kangaroo, spines down its back, and large glowing red eyes, bat-like wings, and a long serpent-like tongue. Some even claim that it stands upright at over 4 feet, but no one has ever provided conclusive proof that this creature exists. Now, the chupacabra has apparently evaded captivity and death, slinking back into the woods and hills before its existence could ever truly be confirmed, but that perpetual mystery may have come to an end deep in the Brazilian wilderness. For you see, a group of hunters claim to have shot and killed the elusive chupacabra, finally bringing the legendary monster out of the shadows. The alleged slaying of this supposed chupacabra took place outside the town of Guia Lopes de Laguna in western Brazil. This rural farming community sits on the edge of a vast, undeveloped forested area, perfect terrain for the chupacabra to hide and stalk prey. Now, local cattle ranchers had been plagued by a series of bizarre attacks on their livestock. I'm talking cows, goats, sheep, all turning up dead after overnight attacks by an unknown persistent predator. The animals had strange puncture wounds and were completely devoid of any blood in their bodies. Now, many residents began to fear that the blood-sucking chupacabra had emerged from the forest to terrorize their community and livestock. Desperate to stop further attacks, a group of local hunters banded together, deciding to scour the forest for this thing. And apparently, after some days of searching, they claim to have found it and successfully tracked and killed the thing responsible for the deaths of their livestock. Now, according to these hunters, their hunting dogs picked up a strange scent trail chasing this creature deep into the woods, and it reportedly fought back viciously when cornered, but was no match for a gun. Triumphant, they dragged its body back to the village to document proof of their incredible kill. Now, they took photos and videos eager to share that the creature would suck blood no more. Now, of course, the alleged carcass of this chupacabra is truly an unsettling sight, as it reveals a bizarre, alien-like body unlike any known animal. However, here's where it gets strange. From looking at it, it appears to be the size of a small primate covered in leathery, hairless, gray skin. The corpse is withered and emaciated, suggesting the creature was sickly or dying when killed. But the most striking and horrifying features are the creature's face and hands. The face is elongated and distorted with oversized eye sockets, giving it an otherworldly appearance, and the mouth is filled with sharp fangs for puncturing and draining blood. Most shockingly, this thing has long, skinny humanoid hands with elongated fingers and claws. According to local legends, the chupacabra often stands upright like a man, particularly when attacking its victims, so these disturbing hands do match the descriptions of its allegedly bipedal stance. To the hunters, there is no doubt this indeed is the remains of the mythical goat sucker itself. They believe they have finally found definitive proof that the chupacabra does exist by hunting down and killing it. But not everyone is really convinced by this slaying of this chupacabra. Skeptics have raised doubts about both the creature in the images and the validity of the hunter's story. Animal experts have noted that the creature bears a striking resemblance to a common species native to that very region. the brown howler monkey. The facial features, body size, and hands all align with the appearance of these monkeys, and the howlers are also known to inhabit the forest near that same area. Now, additionally, the condition of the corpse is questionable. The body appears badly decomposed and rotting, despite the dramatic chase and battle described by the hunters. And there, of course, is debate over whether this thing was found already dead and later presented as a hunted chupacabra. But unfortunately, without DNA testing or scientific examination of the body up close, well, the identity of this slain creature is really too hard to conclusively determine. Many maintain it is simply a dead monkey, not a vampiric monster. And of course, the poor quality images really don't help in providing the smoking gun proof or anything mythical or unknown to science. While this story did capture the public imagination for a brief moment in time, the lack of really any hard evidence leaves the door completely open for anyone remotely skeptical. While the mystery of the chupacabra will probably go on and live on for a very long time, what was truly captured in these photographs remains unsolved. You guys ever spend much time in the Pennsylvania woods? Yeah. Me neither. Apparently, there were some photographs taken recently by witnesses in an undisclosed wooded area of Pennsylvania shared to a Bigfoot Believers Facebook group, igniting a renewed enthusiasm within the cryptozoology community. Now, according to a specific post made by David Borntrager, on behalf of a man named Chase Greyfeather, the first image was captured by Chase himself, who claims to have become obsessed with researching a strange animal or creature that he has repeatedly seen near his home. The post goes on to explain that in Chase's blurry photo, a dark bipedal figure can be seen standing behind a tree, apparently watching a dead deer laying roughly 50 feet away in a ditch. Now, Chase estimates the mysterious entity to be around 8 feet tall based on the sighting alone. And of course, skeptics in the Facebook group suggest the creature could simply be a known animal like a gorilla or a baboon. Chase insists it is something unidentified and perplexing, unlike any wildlife native to the region. Now, Chase's account explains that after his initial sighting, he became obsessed with identifying and gathering evidence for this strange creature and began researching historical accounts of unusual animals in the area around his home, wanting to understand what he had witnessed watching the deer carcass and why was it watching it. However, Chase admitted he was unable to capture any clear photographs or video of the entity during subsequent attempts to track its movement. The lone photo he had managed to take was from a long distance and, well, very blurry, making it difficult to discern any definitive features or characteristics of the figure. Now, skepticism mounted quickly in online discussion over the photo. Many questioned the authenticity, asking whether it had been artificially altered or fabricated entirely using AI. Others pointed out the figure could simply be a tree stump or some other innocuous object, only appeared mysterious due to the poor image quality. With an unconvincing photo and lack of really any corroborating physical evidence, most people agreed that Chase's account alone was simply not enough to confirm the existence of any unknown creature. From then on, the claims were simply dismissed by many as likely a misidentification at best or an outright hoax at worst. Despite the prevalent skepticism over Chase's photo and story, his account took an unexpected turn when he revealed that another local resident had come forward with their own sighting of the same mysterious figure. Chase explained in his post that someone else who lives in the area had actually contacted him, admitted to having captured clear images of the unidentified creature previously. However, this person, of course, has been hesitant to share their photos publicly until learning of Chase's similar encounter. Now, the details surrounding this other witness are scarce, as Chase had promised to keep their identity private for the time being. But he did disclose that the witness claimed to have seen the large ape-like entity on multiple occasions while spending time in the same local section of woods. Now, these additional photos provided by the anonymous local depict what appears to be the same massive hairy biped standing upright atop a hill or mound. The creature is only captured from a rear view angle, but its close size and shape does match the figure described by Chase. Now, while Chase seemed enthusiastic and vindicated by these new photos backing his account, skepticism does continue to persist. Many began questioning why the other witness wished to remain anonymous and had been sitting on this potential bombshell evidence prior to Chase's posting. The origins and context behind the newly revealed photos does remain uncertain. Now, as drama began to unfold and people began accusing Chase of a hoax, he continued urging that the figure captured in these new photos decisively matched the strange creature he himself had seen. And he highlighted the similarities in size, shape, coloring, and stance to the blurry image he had originally posted online. So in Chase's assessment, two witnesses spotting what appeared to be the very same mysterious entity in the same geographic area could not simply be a coincidence or mistaken identity. However, without any definitive video footage clearly showing the figure's face and movements, there was still not enough proof to confirm that this was anything more than misidentified wildlife. Now, completely frustrated by the lingering doubts, Chase hinted that there may be more revelations to come about this particular case, and assured that neither he nor the anonymous witness were prone to making up false stories or fabricating photographic evidence of imaginary creatures. I mean, there was much about the ongoing investigation that he could not yet discuss publicly. With Chase's build-up creating anticipation and uncertainty, the discussion now reached its climax. And now, there was a twist in the tale that I did not reveal. Chase disclosed that the other witness who had come forward with photos was none other than his own girlfriend, Emma. Now, he had kept her identity hidden, not out of secrecy, but for her own privacy and safety amidst the growing spotlight over the case. But Emma was now willing to speak out herself in hopes it would lend more credibility to what they claimed to have both witnessed on numerous occasions around the rural community. Now, she really no longer felt comfortable keeping her corroborating experience silent and confirmed that the photos provided earlier were indeed captured by her during her solo hikes in the woods over the past several months. She also recounted her frightening repeat encounters with this massive, mysterious, hairy creature, and it was very consistent with Chase's described sighting. Now, according to Emma, she had been hesitant to share her photos because the situation felt so bizarre and unbelievable, and she worried people would ostracize her, call her crazy, or attention-seeking if she ever revealed this evidence without someone like Chase first coming forward. Now, with their independent accounts now publicly interlinked, thanks to the revealing twist, Chase and Emma have expressed optimism that more witnesses might come forward. Now, perhaps this breakthrough could galvanize an effort by locals and investigators to finally get conclusive proof and protection from this creature lurking in their own backyard, but ultimately, Chase, his girlfriend Emma, and the photos provided all remain inconclusive. And because you guys have all made it this far into the video, I want you to all comment down below, that's not Bigfoot, that's just my ex-wife. So I know who made it to the end of the video. And if you guys enjoy this kind of content, be sure to go ahead and smack that like and subscribe button for more content from yours truly. As always, I love you all, keep an open mind, and I'll see you guys in the very next video.